So hello and welcome to episode 16 Four Wheels. Now there are lots of different ways that you can machine polish a car, so this is just my way of machine polishing a car. It's not necessarily right or wrong way of doing it, everybody does something different. So I'm just going to show you how I clean machine polish a car today. So the first step in order to make sure we can machine polish, make sure the car is clean. Now this one is kept underneath the cover, so it never gets that dirty actually. However, there are still some little bits of dirt I can see around. So I'm going to be using my Auto Primeworks detailers to give this car a quick wipe over. And as you guys know, Auto Primeworks, if you use to go Stevens 4Wheels10, you get 10% off your order. So apply a little coating, so we don't need too much of this stuff. I'm just going to go and do half the bonnet, just to show you guys what I do. So there we go. So the next stage is something I'd always recommend, even though the car does feel quite clean, you can, when your hands out, you do feel little bits, and actually does feel slightly rough on the bonnet. Now, how do we sort that? That is by using one of these. Now, this is about a quarter of a clay bar. Not too expensive to buy, I think they're about sort of 10 to 20 pounds. And I only, for a car like this, would use about a quarter of it. And basically all you're going to do, I've got some Auto Finesse, this is Glide Clay Lube, and all you do is spray the lube on and then you just rub over, and the amount of stuff that you get off is absolutely incredible at times. I remember I did my old SLK, which had sat outside for the best of my life for about 17 years, never been covered, never been garaged, and the amount of stuff that I got off, I had a quarter of a clay pot and I had to change it about 2/3 of the way through because it just went sort of a cream colour. It was absolutely horrible. I had to change it. So it's amazing how much stuff, even though I'd cleaned that car, gone over it with the tar and decontaminating all that sort of stuff, it still had stuff on the surface which you couldn't really see. It's only when you actually rub the clay away you can feel it. So one little tip I'm going to do is that you need to warm the clay bar, a bit like a bit of blue tack. It also has the same consistency as sort of blue tack. You just need to get it warmed up a little bit in your hands, just mess about with it a little bit, just for 30 seconds to a minute. Just so it's not particularly cold. Now we're quite lucky with the weather today. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's mostly cloudy, there's not too much sun out today, so it's kind of good weather to be doing a little bit of detailing. Right, so we'll just start with a little bit of the bonnet. Spray some of this on. And all you have to do, really simple, is rub this up and down. Now, if you have particularly bad bodywork, you can actually feel all of the roughness in it. You sort of know what I mean once you've done it. So once you've gone over it a couple of times, you should be okay. And you can actually almost sometimes feel how bad the bodywork is. Look on my old SK, you can feel how rough the paint was. And what you're looking for is to go up a couple of times. You're not going to get too much off this particular one, but you can almost feel the way the clay bar actually glides over the paint once it's actually done. It feels rough before, you almost feel the roughness in the paint. And we haven't got too much out of there, a few little bits. I didn't expect to get that much. So I'm just going to quickly do the rest of the bonnet now, and then we'll see what we end up with. Right, so that's the whole of the bonnet done. I haven't really got that much out of it. You can see there are a few little dots though in there, bits of tar, bits of muck that come off the road. Once you find that your clay bar is going to be dirty, then to get a fresh piece, all you do is basically fold it over and you can shape it into whatever size you want really. So before we start the machine polish, all we're going to do is wipe down this bonnet. We have got quite a bit of residue left over from our clay bar. Wiping up and down. There's not that much on here and it's still wet, so it doesn't dry onto the bodywork, which also helps. So it certainly feels a bit smoother. You can certainly feel that actually taken out quite a lot of stuff, quite a lot of contaminants out of this bonnet. So we're now ready to use our machine polisher. So I've got mine just down there all ready to go. I just thought I'd show you the pad that we're going to be using. Now this is the Auto Finesse Revitalize Free Refining Pad. So this one is basically the softest pad that you can use. I don't think this car really needs a massive machine polish. It's just enough to take all the light little scratches out of it. If, like my older SLK, I did that, there was loads of quite deep scratches in there. I left that to professional. I only ever do things with a light pad. I can do, I'd love to do that, but I feel like I need a bit more training before I do so. So, if you're like me, and you just want to give it a bit of a go, I just recommend using the lightest pad and the softest pad that you can use possible. Right, so we're going to need some sort of cutting compound to actually get into the paintwork. And the one that I use is this Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. This one is Colour and Clarity Restorer. So really what the product's going to do here is try and get into the paint and just take out all the little scratches basically and make the paint have a bit more shine. And as for the machine polisher that I'm using, as you can see, I've put my pad on here, and this particular one is just a Halfords dual action polisher. Main reason I went for this one was because I had a voucher to use at Halfords, so that's why I went for this one. I think it was about £85, but I bought it a few years ago. So I'll go and show you all the steps that I use, a few little tricks that we'll use, and a few little different things that you can do to make sure you're using it properly and to make life easier for ourselves as well. So, a little bit on, I'm just going to pour about 4 largest pea shapes. Largest, maybe we'll do 5 as the first one. Just enough really to keep us going. I do find these caps do spurt a little bit as well. And we are going to stretch out our wire. And I'm probably going to tackle, I think I'm going to tackle, I probably wouldn't do any more than a quarter at times. I think I might just do this main bit here for now, and then we can move on maybe in the centre section next. Purely because it just makes it a little bit easier. So you want to make sure you've got the cable over your shoulder so that's not going to fall off. And what I would just do is just dot that around just to make sure you've got enough material actually to keep going up here as well. So to start, you're going to push it onto the bonnet. Always make sure when you take the machine polisher on and off, you push it, leave it on the bonnet. And we're just going to start it up. And I'm just going to do a very quick sweep just to spread all the compound around. Alright, so I've just done a really quick little sweep just to get the compound moved around onto the panel. I'm now going to go back over the panel, probably a couple of times, really slowly. The aim of the game is not to rush this. You can't rush machine polish, and if you rush it, you'll end up with a load of marks and sort of like holograms all over the paint. It just doesn't really work. If you're going to do this, you might as well go the whole hog and take your time over it. So you've noticed then, I kept the polisher actually on the panel, and when I turned it off, I kept it on the panel until then. Now, in terms of pressure, I don't apply any pressure to this. So all I do is hold it there, and I hold it on here as well. I don't apply any pressure. I'm only here just to guide the polisher around, let the machine do all the hard work. I don't have to do anything other than guide it basically. So let's have a go with this panel. You'll see sort of the speed that I'll go now compared to the first time. First time I just wanted to get all the compound onto the panel. So we'll go and actually do proper machine polishing now. Start at the corner here. And this is the sort of speed you want to be doing, nice and slow. Not applying too much pressure, just letting the machine do its job. So I've done my first part now, my first pass. I've done my first part, I'm going to go back and do a second going over now. And of course the final stage, I'm just going to rub over the panel just to get any of the compound off. You can hear the difference there, just how much difference it is. Quite literally squeaky clean, whereas last bit, not the same, is it? Let's give that rub over. And that's it. That is a basic machine polish. Now, you can go more in depth. I don't think this car particularly wants going more in depth though. I think a quick machine polish is going to do it. So I'll go and machine polish the rest of the bonnet, and then we'll come back and we'll see if we can see any difference between this half of the bonnet and that half of the bonnet. So I've just finished doing this section, which is obviously the bit that I've done. I'm just going to do a little bit of comparison to the bit that I haven't done, the other half of the bonnet I haven't done. And I don't know if you can sort of tell on the camera, but it seems to be a different shade of silver grey now. Really nice the way it transforms it. So that is my quick little guide today on machine polishing. So there's many different ways that you can do it, and there's many different products and many different polishes that you can actually use to actually do this job. But that's my little system. I'm not a professional detailer. I just do this for a bit of fun really. So of course don't forget that if you want to buy this detailer, I have done a separate review on this product. It's the Auto Primeworks detailer you can do, and you can also use the code StevensForwards10 for 10% off at checkout. So thank you very much for watching. It's going to be goodbye from me, goodbye from the SLK, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.